Let's make rhubarb bars. This is an old family recipe that came from my family in Minnesota, and the rhubarb actually came from Minnesota as well. And the rhubarb has been transplanted to Colorado from Minnesota. My father didn't think it would grow at 8,200 feet, but it actually does. The rhubarb, actually pull it. Put it back in there. Now just do a quick rinse of all of it. I like to trim the very ends off of the rhubarb. This is the root end of the rhubarb. And then cut it up into 3/4 inch chunks. And you can cut it and bag it up and put it in the freezer and pull it out later and make whatever you want with it. It works just as well. We'll start with the rhubarb sauce. We need 8 cups of cut up washed rhubarb. We'll use 1.5 cups of organic evaporated cane juice. We'll use 1/4 cup of water in which we'll dissolve 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch or arrowroot powder and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay. So we'll dissolve the cornstarch or arrowroot powder in the 1/4 cup of water and then add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Because I really just dumped the rhubarb in the pan. And then I dumped some evaporated cane juice in. About 1.5 cups maybe. Turn on the heat. And I start low because the sugar is going to make the juices in the rhubarb come out. And so you don't want to start too fast or you'll burn it. But eventually it'll just start getting juice, and then you come back and you stir it, and it takes a while for it to cook. So while that's doing that, you make the crust. We're going to make the crust while the rhubarb's still cooking. We'll start with 1 cup of brown sugar creamed with 1 cup of shortening, and we use non-hydrogenated vegetable oil spread. 1.5 cups of oatmeal, 1.5 cups of 2 different kinds of flour, which I'll explain later, 1 cup of chopped walnuts, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So we use 1 cup of packed brown sugar. Add the 1 cup of shortening. And blend till it's creamy. And so my secret to this recipe that I've added over the years is I add a little bit of brown rice flour to the second 1/2 cup. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and just mix it all up. So the sauce is just about ready. It still has a few chunks, but they're soft, and some of it's turned to sauce. If you stir it too much, it'll get very mushy. I like it a little less mushy, but it's bubbling. So that's when you add the thickener, cornstarch and the vanilla, and stir it until it becomes clear again and thick. Before you put the crust in the pan, preheat your oven to 350. Alright, we're going to put about half of the crust into the pan, maybe a little bit more, reserving the rest for the top. And I usually just use my fingers to pat it down and make a firm crust. gonna put the walnuts in and mix it in till it's all combined and crumbly. Alright, so we have the crust, put in the rhubarb sauce, spread it, and sprinkle the topping to cover the whole thing.